It was Stephen Harper who originally said that in 2030, Alberta will be phased out of fossil fuels. Well, that's a
So hold on. So let's talk about that because I don't think most people would agree with that. I think most people think that the Conservative Party of Canada is totally all about Alberta and Albertans and fossil fuels, and they're fighting for that and the for our economy and our lifestyle here. So
well. I'll give you a perfect example of that. You and I talked about this. So just recently, the Buffalo Declaration by Michelle Rempel. Well, Michelle Rempel sits on the IPU.
so you have to explain what the IPU is.
So the IPU is the Interparliamentary Union, which is, if you look at the constitution for the IPU, they are mandated to follow any direction or actions that the UN mandates. They're obligated. They have to follow it.
So let's draw the connection so people are very clear. So the IPU,
Parliamentary Union.
Parliamentary Union, and they are following a UN mandate.
They follow a UN mandate, correct. So right now, that's 4 from the Buffalo Declaration. My last count, there was no less than 15 members of parliament from Alberta that sit on this IPU, with Michelle Rempel sitting on the executive of this IPU. Alberta currently has 5 sitting senators, 3 of which were appointed by Stephen Harper. All 3 of those sit on the IPU. And we really believe that the Conservative Party of Canada has Alberta's best interests at heart. If they did step down, step away from that IPU, step away from the UN, make it public that you're stepping away. Until that happens, you're no different than the Liberal Party.
So the Conservative Party of Canada wants that UN seat.
They do.
And they've been working towards that UN seat. They support Agenda 2030, which is a UN initiative.
Which was initially started by Stephen Harper. Stephen Harper is actually on record, you can search it in the newspapers, he's actually on record as saying 2030, Alberta will be phased out of fossil fuels.
Yeah. So that's the important part for me, because when we started these videos and we started, I got involved in federal politics was because I was tired of the media presentation of this viewpoint, which is often the complete opposite of what reality is. The blockades today. The media is presenting that this is a much bigger issue than it is. This is not an issue of, 20, 30, maybe a couple of hundred people, but this is a whole First Nations group, which 80% of the Wet'suwet'en people actually support the Coastal GasLink, for example.
That's right.
So for me, education is huge, and that because we've talked a lot about education, whether it's people in schools and teachers who I honestly believe are being given the wrong information, right down through, no matter what we do today, there's a whole re-education process that has to happen. So I really want people to understand, because we've had people who said, well, we've got a new leader potentially for the CPC, and we're going to have a new direction. And I'm sitting here and I'm going, it's not the leader of the CPC that's going to change anything. It's the administration that's behind it. Well, the party.
It's the Conservative Fund. Stephen Harper ran the Conservative Fund.
But he stepped aside now.
Sure he did. Yeah, we both know what that's worth. But at the end of the day, if you control the money, you control the direction of that party.
Yep.
So the Conservative Fund believes that this is where we need to be. Stephen Harper was very clear on that. And yes, we do have a current run for the leadership of the Conservative Party, but which one has ever said that we'll step away from the UN? Not one of them will broach that. They'll all say, they're all saying the right things, but it's easy to say something. Your actions speak louder than your words, and it's the inaction that Albertans are having the problem with. And it's the continual inaction, be it at the federal level with the Conservative Party or the Liberals or the UCP.
Thank you for watching this excerpt of Nadine 1on1 with Kelly Laurence. If you enjoyed the excerpt, please be sure to watch the full video.